Okay, good evening. Welcome to the City of Helotes' Planning and Zoning Commission's regular monthly meeting for February. It's February 2nd at 7:01 p.m. Ask for the commission secretary to call the roll, please.
Sandra Etheridge. Joe Edmond.
Well time.
Ron Haza. Greg Michelle.
Here.
Mike McLaughlin.
Here.
Richard Hawk.
Here.
Joe, Jeff Wade.
Here.
Call Juliet.
Juliet Stefan is absent.
And we have City Administrator Rick Schroeder here and Councilman Alex Blue as well. First item tonight is citizens to be heard. Rick, I don't believe we have anybody signed up, so we will forge ahead to number 4 on our agenda, which is discussion and action on the minutes from the Planning and Zoning Commission meeting of January 5th, 2016. You should have found this in your materials. If there are any corrections or edits or revisions, please bring those to our attention now. Or we can have a motion.
Make a motion that the minutes be approved as read. Presented.
Seconded by Mike. Motion is to approve the minutes as submitted of the January 5th meeting. All in favor of approving the minutes, signal aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes are approved. There you go. Okay, item 5 tonight, discussion and action on a request by Liquor Top for a variance to the master sign plan for Galm Village Retail Center pursuant to Chapter 66 Signs of the Municipal Code of Ordinance for property located at 11590 Galm Road, suite number 103. Turn to our city administrator, if you'd like to speak to this, Rick.
Sure, Chair.
And do we, by the way, have anybody representing the business here this evening? Okay, go ahead.
Staff included in its memo that we have on the dais reviews and recommendations for all of these items. Some items we did not include a recommendation for, and we typically do not include a recommendation for variance items, and so we did not include a recommendation of denial or approval here. However, for this item, the maximum allowable square footage is 20 square feet. The requested square footage for this item is 2 square feet, and the commission under the 25% rule could increase the allowable square footage and approve this sign up to 25 square feet. Any approval over 25 square feet will require council review and approval, and again, no recommendation was provided.
The image that was submitted with the materials is of the proposed sign and its in the applicant's requested configuration, requested dimensions, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And one other question I have as it relates to this, it was back in the fall that the commission was presented with the master sign plan for this development and approved the master sign plan with explicit inclusion of language regarding the limitations on what is permitted here. In other words, 1 square foot of signage per linear square footage, the business up to, I think it was 100 square feet.
Yes, the commission mirrored the exact language that's in the current sign code for wall signs.
Is it your recollection or understanding that from the earlier submission on the master sign plan that that had been simply a clerical omission on the part of the applicant at that point?
I'm not understanding your question.
In other words, it hadn't been included in the master sign plan originally. This commission put it in, which was to conform with our code, correct?
Yes.
So the fact that it hadn't been included initially, do we know if that was an oversight on the part of the applicant at that time?
No, the applicant was quite clear what the code stated, and staff advised the applicant that it was highly unlikely that the commission or council would approve or could approve, depending on the instance, anything greater than what the maximum allowable sign square footage is for wall signs. And so with that urging, they put it was actually underlined 1 square foot per linear square of building with the maximum of 100 square feet.
Okay.
And this discussion would apply for both 5 and 6, Chair.
And one last question that I have, is my memory correct that this is the first group of signs for this development?
No, there have been 2 prior signs. One is, 2 are Domino's Pizza that complied with the sign code, and a dental facility that
That's right.
complied.
Thank you. Are there other questions or comments or discussion on this item?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, is there someone here to represent this?
There's not.
There's not.
My only comment is that if you look at the floor plan of the whole building, there's 7 suites there, that if you let them get too much above what the master sign plan says, that it's just gonna look overburdened.
Any other comments or discussion? Michael?
Yeah, this goes back to comments I've made in the past. This is the newly, I guess, annexed area.
Right.
And a big reason I believe that the city wanted to annex that is to keep the signs under control, so to speak, or have them conform to some standard, which is reflected in this, in our code. So, I think it should comply. There was a good reason that the city did that.
Unless there's more discussion, we could have a motion for number 5.
I'll make a motion.
Sandra?
A denial for request by Liquor Top for a variance to the master sign plan for GOM Village Retail Center pursuant to Chapter 66 signs of the Municipal Code of Ordinances for property located at 11590 GOM Road, suite number 103.
I'll second.
Michael. Sandra and Michael, discussion of the item, the motion.
I wouldn't mind possibly considering the allowable increase of 25% rule, but not above that, especially since there's multiple signs in this group of buildings that it would become. The other 2 were able to comply, so I think they should be able to comply.
Rick, do you recall, because obviously I don't, whether they were, if we allowed the overage, the 25% overage on the dental office and the other business?
No, but the difference between those, they were on end suites, so the end suites allow for a little bit more frontage along Gulm Road, and also they have windows, and they called for signage on the side of the building facing FM 1560. So those 2 suites tended to have more square footage than the interior suites.
My take on it is that while these aren't, or this particular one is not an in-suite, they're relatively close to the passageways, the roads, and so I don't see that there'd be a big value to increasing the size relative to how easily the signs are seen. They're close. I think it would make the building overall have a better appearance to go with the, stay within the code.
Anyone else? So the motion is to disapprove the request by Liquor Top for variance to the master sign plan for Gulm Village Retail Center pursuant to Chapter 66 signs for property located at 11590 Gulm Road, suite number 103. All in favor of the motion, please signal aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion is approved. Item 6 tonight, discussion and action on a request by Super Donut for a variance to the master sign plan for Gulm Village Retail Center pursuant to Chapter 66 signs of the Municipal Code of Ordinances for property located at 11590 Gulm Road, suite number 106. Similar item as we've had before us with item 5. Is Is there anyone in here tonight representing that business? Any discussion regarding this item, since it is largely, it is identical to the previous item in terms of the request?
Mr.
You
Chairman,
do have the drawing, I should say, in there as well. Yes, please.
just curious, since there's no dimensions on this here, the image that we're given, is that to scale?
Which page do you have?
The
There's two
donut?
images.
This, that one you're looking at, I think.
He's looking at the, this one. It does
I could not speak, Chair, as to whether it is or is not to scale.
don't know.
Are you thinking because Liquor Top looks much larger in the scale?
Right.
picture? Yeah.
And is their logo part of their being over?
Yeah, next.
Yes.
Say that again?
The logo is bringing them over their total?
Yes, we calculated the logo, the super and the donuts, kolaches and more at the rear. The logo itself is 9.47 square feet, super is 8.85, donut is 9.57, and the portion below that's 4.76. So it totals 32.65 square feet together. I don't like to square these things off because our code says whatever the sign is what the square footage is. So, I mean, for a circle, I do pi r squared. I don't square the thing.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I believe that these situations are too much alike for us to treat them differently. Therefore, I would offer a motion if you're ready.
Well, let's see if there's any questions, other questions,
Okay.
comments. Go ahead, Joe.
I move that the request for, I can't see it. Request for this sign to be disapproved, for us to deny the request.
I'll read it back to make sure we got it here. Is there a second?
Second.
Richard, further discussion, Joe or Richard? Anyone else? So to be clear on the motion, Joe.
I don't have anything else.
So your motion is to disapprove the request by Super Donut for a variance to the master sign plan for Golem Village Retail Center pursuant to Chapter 66 signs for property at 11590 Golem Road, Suite 106. That's your motion, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All in favor of the motion, please signal aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is approved. Okay, item 7 this evening, discussion and action on a request by MMY Properties for wall signage pursuant to Chapter 98 zoning, Article 3, District Regulations 9872 G6B2I. Wall signs of the Municipal Code of Ordinances for prime time fire protection at 15089 East Bandera Road within the Old Town Helotes Special District.
Chair, we reviewed this item. The maximum allowable square footage for wall signage in Old Town is 32 square feet. The requested square footage is less than 27 square feet. I say less than because it was somewhat difficult for me to calculate the bottom portion, but I know that it's less than 27 square feet, and so we are recommending approval as presented.
And this is an existing structure, correct?
Yes.
Okay, questions? Or a motion?
Mr. Chairman, is this a decal, or is this gonna be a sign?
It would be an internally lit LED sign.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to approve the request by MMY Properties LLC for wall signage pursuant to Chapter 98 zoning, Article 3, District Regulations, Section 98-72 of the Municipal Code of Ordinances for prime time fire protection located at 15089 East Bandera Road within Old Town Helotes Special District.
I'll second.
Richard for second. Jeff, or Richard for additional discussion? Anyone else? The motion is to approve the request by MMY Properties for wall signage pursuant to Chapter 98 zoning, Article 3, Section 9872, G6B2I, wall signs for prime time fire protection at 15089 East Bandera Road within the Old Town Helotes Special District. All in favor of the motion, signal aye.
Aye.
Opposed? This motion is approved. Number 8 tonight, discussion and action on a request by Melissa. Melissa, are you here?
Yes.
Say it for me.
Sholander.
Scholander, thank you. Melissa Scholander for monument and wall signage pursuant to Chapter 98 zoning, Section 9872, Old Town Helotes Special District, subsection G6B1, monument signs, and 2I wall signs for the Cracked Mugged Coffee House, 14743 East Bandera Road within the Old Town Helotes Special District. Rick?
Chair, upon review of this item, the maximum, first off, let's step back. The wall signage is what is being presented tonight. In the agenda heading, we included monument signage, and in the packet, it made reference of freestanding signs. The applicant will submit to the commission in March for the freestanding sign, and so the only thing that you're looking at tonight is the wall signage itself. The maximum allowable square footage is 32 square feet. They are requesting 24 square feet for their sign. The only thing, we're recommending approval of this item. The only thing that we are concerned about, and it just really depends on what the commission thinks here, is the location of the sign. It extends, according to this picture, it extends above the parapet wall. And city staff would suggest, and these are just suggestions based upon our review of this, lowering the height of the sign to below the top of the parapet wall, decreasing the square footage of the proposed wall sign, or moving the proposed location of the wall sign to the main building wall, which we understand would be lower and possibly not as recognizable. So those are our only comments, but we are recommending approval, and I'm glad the applicant's here so they can address those comments or concerns.
Okay. So, I guess, Ms. Scholander, if you wouldn't mind answering a couple questions, and actually, if you come up here just so we record it, and tell us your business address for the record.
14743 Old Bandera Road, Unit 1.
So is this, the drawing we have, which shows it extending above the parapet, is that accurate representation of it?
Yes.
It's not this guy.
So then the concern is that by doing that, we need to talk about either shrinking it, moving it.
I think moving it to the height of the top of the building, if that's fine with you, works for me.
Could you say it again? I'm sorry, I didn't understand.
If we move the top of the sign to the top of the building or slightly lower is fine.
Mr. Chairman?
Yeah, Ron, go ahead.
Now, the picture we have, so you're saying that this really isn't to scale?
That's not the scale.
No.
sir.
Okay, so there is room to,
There's 4
There's
feet
room, yes.
easily.
Yeah.
But it does extend up, but there's room to drop it down. That's just sort of photoshopped on there or
Yeah,
something.
that's not going to be
Okay.
to scale.
Yeah, that's
That's larger.
was quickly done because we had a day.
And, yeah, go ahead, please.
So where would it exactly fall? Where, between that arched
It would be
brick?
above the archway and below the top.
And it fits in there?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, it's 4 feet high, so it should fit in that
And how
spot.
much space is in there? The other way,
So on top.
yeah, there. So there's 4 feet in that space there?
I don't know exactly, but I'm almost positive there's at least 4 feet there.
Yeah. We shouldn't have any problem with 4 feet between the top there and the bottom there.
So the sign will fit
And
between
if it does
the
come
two.
to 4 feet, we can always, we'll be more than willing to make sure that it's not above the top and we're below the bottom. We can adjust the sign.
Yeah, I think that would
Sign.
still be visible from the street if we do that.
Right.
Joe, did you have a question?
I was just asking the sign, does not go below the arc and it doesn't go above the
Right,
roof line.
right,
Right.
We'll agree to that, no problem at
right.
all.
And it's not being lit?
The sign itself won't be lit, and I don't have plans at this time to shine a spotlight on it, but that might be something in the future that I would like to do.
Mr. Chairman, just keep in mind, it has to be downlit.
Like facing down on it?
And we
Okay.
don't allow
There'll be a
lights
light
going up.
above it, facing down on
Okay.
it.
Yeah, exactly.
But you'll have to come back later for that.
Right, okay.
Okay. Other questions? Housekeeping, just put your name on the record if you would, sir.
Ron Scholander.
I think we generally would concur with the city administrator's attractive sign. It's not a question about the sign itself, so, is there a motion? Whose turn is it?
I'll take it.
Michael. Michael's got it.
Let's see. Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the request by Melissa
Scholander.
Scholander for the wall signage pursuant to Chapter 98 zoning, Section 98-2, Old Town Helotes Special District. Subject, I won't read the whole thing, for wall signs of the Municipal Code of Ordinances for the Cracked Mug Coffee House located at 14743 East Bandera Road within the Old Town Helotes Special District. The only caveat I'd put on there is that we've had the discussion and the willingness to lower the top of the sign to the top of the parapet.
I'll
Is there
second
a
it.
second?
I'll second
Ron. Discussion further?
No,
Michael?
it's going along with with that ordinance, and you can, it's a developed sign, it looks like it's handmade, it's that type of theme that we want in there, so it is an attractive sign, so.
Ron?
And my notes will just be not to go over the top of wall.
Yes.
Right. Anyone else? So the motion is to approve a request by Melissa Scholander for monument and, for wall signage, only wall signage, pursuant to Chapter 98 zoning, 9872, G6B1 monument signs, and 2I wall signs of Municipal Code of Ordinances for the Cracked Mug Coffee House, 14743 East Bandera Road, within the Old Town Helotes Special District. And you had only said wall signage, right?
Yes, I did.
Okay. All in favor of the motion, please signal aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is approved. We'll look forward to seeing you next month. And are you open for business
No,
at this point? Okay, well, good luck.
Maybe.
Not yet. Soon.
Thank you.
Great, thank you. Item 9 tonight, discussion and action on a request by John Bader Fahey for freestanding signage pursuant to 9872 Old Town Helotes Special District, subsection G, of the Municipal Code of Ordinances for Country Elegance Antiques and Country French Style, located at 14391 Riggs Road within the Old Town Helotes Special District. Is Mr. Bader Fahey here tonight? Nope. Rick, if you have anything to present on this one.
In our review of this sign, we are recommending approval of the sign as presented. The maximum allowable square footage for this is 20 square feet. It is a freestanding sign, so it has 2 poles with a face on it. It is not, freestanding signs are not allowed anywhere but Old Town Helotes. And the requested square footage is approximately 15 square feet. We are recommending approval. The one concern that I did have at first was that it looked like it was encroaching into the right-of-way, like it would be in the planter boxes, but if you look at the description, they're talking, it's approximately 1 foot off the foundation, which there is a planted area in front of their building. And so as long as it is not in front of the sidewalk, I don't have an issue with it as an encroachment. And so we are recommending approval. And I will say in Old Town, it's a little fuzzy, if you recall when we did the Old Town improvements, where the right-of-way ends and where it begins. And so I think it's an attractive sign, so we're recommending approval of it.
It's limited space.
1 foot in front of the slab. Help me visualize this, because I'm having trouble with it.
There are lantanas and plants planted along the front slab of that building. And given the description of the foot, there is no other location that can be other than there, because otherwise it would be sidewalk. So I'm making that assumption in my recommendation.
So the lantana will be growing up among the columns that's holding the sign?
Yes, ma'am, it would appear so, and I can pull up the Google map so you can have a better visual.
Maybe so.
They don't have any type of signage currently on the front of the building?
This is under new ownership, and so it's changing from Helotes Marketplace to this business. And so there is Helotes Marketplace signage on the building, but it's my understanding that that will be removed. And you'll see it when I pull it up. Oh, we're actually in a building.
Across the street.
Yeah.
Google Maps, that's scary.
Oh, Google goes in stores?
Okay, you can see right here, there is the planting bed in front of the slab, and so this is the location right here where my pointer is, that they are proposing to place it.
And at this time, they're not asking for any, the big sign up top?
No, sir. This is all, it's my understanding this is all they would be requesting.
And it would be
Right in
code
front of-
compliance's job to ensure that this is actually goes in where it should and so forth.
It'll be the building official.
Building, excuse me, building inspector.
So it's gonna be right there, right in front of that parking space.
Within that planted area, yes, sir.
Other questions? Motion, yeah.
I would
Sandra?
like to recommend approval for the request by Johnny Batter Fahey, I'm not sure if I said that correct, for freestanding signage pursuant to Chapter 98 zoning, Section 9872, Old Town Helotes Special District, subsection G of the Municipal Code of Ordinances for Country Elegance, Antiques, and Country French Style, located at 1439 Riggs Road, within the Old Town Helotes Special District.
Second? Mike seconds it. Further discussion, Sandra?
No.
Mike?
No, I'm good, thank you.
Anyone else? Request, the motion is to approve the request by John, or Johnny Bader Fahy for freestanding signage pursuant to 9872 Old Town Helotes Special District, subsection G, for Country Elegance, Antiques, and Country French Style located at 14391 Riggs Road within the Old Town Helotes Special District. All in favor of this motion, please signal aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is approved. Thank you. Item 10, discussion and action on a request by Compass Church for wall signage pursuant to Chapter 6651, subsection B, wall signs of the Municipal Code of Ordinances for property at 12266 East Bandera Road. Turn over to Rick, and is someone representing? Great, we have questions. Rick?
When we did the review of this sign, I had Joe, the code enforcement officer, go out and actually measure the front of the building. The front of the building's 43 square feet, or that tenant space, I should say. And so the requested square footage is 32 square feet, and we are recommending approval as presented because it does comply with code.
Just to clarify, in the drawing that we have, the sign will go where it is represented. It's not going to go over the door where the temporary is that right? Sure. Right.
I'm sorry, so it will go over the door, or?
It will not. It will
over
go
the
where it's,
window?
it will go where it's shown on the,
Okay.
Presented.
on the drawing.
Okay. Yeah.
So this is the building behind? Correct, very back of the property. Didn't y'all get the front of that?
Come on up to the mic. Just let's put your name and address on record, and then people can hear better.
I'm Aaron Powers. I'm the lead pastor at Compass Church. We're at 12266 Bandera Road. We actually occupy two different spaces in the facility. We have what used to be Helotes Pediatrics, so 3,000 square foot in the front space. This, however, just is signage for our sanctuary building, which is building 2 at the very, very back. of the space.
Other questions?
Will it be illuminated?
No, sir.
Okay, thank you. Is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I'll
Yes.
make a motion to approve the request of Compass Church for wall signage pursuant to Chapter 66 signs, Section 66-51, subsection B, wall signs of the Municipal Code of Ordinances for property located at 12266 East Bandera Road.
I'll second it.
Ron. Jeff or Ron, anything further on this item? Anyone else?
No, sir.
No.
Motion is to approve the request by Compass Church for wall signage pursuant to Chapter 6651, subsection B, wall signs of the Municipal Code of Ordinances for property located at 12266 East Bandera Road. All in favor of the motion, please signal aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Great, motion's approved. Number 11 tonight is request by McMillan Texas Homes for variance from Chapter 66, Article 4 Prohibitions, 6631 Prohibited Signs of the Municipal Code of Ordinances for an off-premise sign located at 15030 East Bandera Road. And turn to City Administrator.
Yes, we reviewed this. The Code of Ordinances prohibits off-premise signage. And so in order to prevent further variance requests for off-premise signage, we are recommending disapproval of this item. Obviously, it does need to go, this is a recommendation from the commission to council, and it would go to council for final review and approval.
Yes. Discussion, question, or do you want to jump right to a motion?
Jump right to it. We can have discussion after that.
Go for it.
I move to recommend denying the request by McMillan Texas Homes for a variance from Chapter 66 signs, Article 4 prohibitions, Section 66-31 prohibited signs of the Municipal Code of Ordinances for an off-premise sign located at 15030 East Bandera Road, Helotes, Texas.
I'll second it.
Can I request to pull it?
Why don't you come up to the mic?
Hi,
Tell us who you are.
Jessica
and
Bond with McMillan Texas Homes.
What's your business address, please?
21232 Gathering Oaks.
Thank you. And so you would be interested, if possible, of removing it from the, simply not coming back with a revamped version. I mean, realizing that off-premise signs are not permitted
Correct.
in the city. Is there any problem, Rick, at this stage? Do we have a motion out there with pulling something like this, or is it more appropriate to just move forward with our?
So what are you suggesting?
Basically, to be honest with you, if I wasn't asked any questions and there was no request to approve at all, there wasn't even going to be a discussion to talk about it. I was asked to pull it and take it back to the office, to the higher ups. So, I mean, no one's asked, any questions why I feel that I should have it there, we should have it there. So, if they're already ready to disapprove it, they ask that I just get it pulled.
I mean, there certainly is nothing wrong with the chair asking for a motion and a second to postpone indefinitely, which essentially kills the item.
Or can I withdraw my motion?
Yes, you would need to withdraw your motion, but somebody would have to make a
new
motion to postpone indefinitely.
I think the same effect would be achieved, and I think, and you're right, there wasn't opportunity to discuss it because this is one of those issues that we're very concerned with and clear with it. We just don't approve that. So we wouldn't want you to devote more time and energy to sort of refashioning something different that's gonna end up in the same place. But understanding that, where the commission's coming from, I don't see a problem with, if you're amenable to it, and who seconded it?
Joe?
Joe did. If you're amenable to pulling it, then
No problem.
Withdraw your motion?
I'll withdraw my motion.
Then I would, someone else will need to make the motion to postpone indefinitely the item. You can make the motion, doesn't matter.
I'll make a motion to postpone the request by Macmillan Texas Homes for a variance from Chapter 66 Signs, Article 5 Prohibition, Section 6631, Prohibited Signs of the Municipal Code of Ordinances for an off-premise sign located at 15030 East Bender Road.
Indefinitely,
Pelosi.
postpone indefinitely. Is there a second on that?
I'll second
I
that.
mean, I think I said the wrong number.
Yeah,
six.
that's all right. Is there further discussion on that? The motion is to postpone indefinitely the request by Macmillan Texas Homes for a variance to 66, Article 4, Section 31, Prohibited Signs of Municipal Code of Ordinances for an off-premise sign located at 15030 East Bend Air Road. All in favor of the motion, signal aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is to postpone indefinitely. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, we now come to the non-sign portion of the agenda.
Mr. Chairman,
Ron.
may I make a motion to adjourn?
There's a second.
I'll second.
All in favor of adjourning, signal aye.
Aye.
Opposed, we'll stand adjourned at 7:37.